You know, honestly, I didn't think that I could be this happy in my lifetime. Like, I never imagined or visualized or felt in my heart that this level of happiness is attainable. I didn't know what it felt like. I'm just so grateful. Like, there are so many things in my life that I still want, that I still don't have, and there's so many dreams that I have. And looking at the life that I have right now, I can safely say that I feel great, like holding these dreams, and at the same time, you know, super excited for what is about to come, and content with what is in my life right now. Hello, hello YouTube! Welcome back to One in a Million. This is Eunice Chan here, and I'm super excited to be talking with you guys today about feeling good and happiness, because I think that it is one of the greatest and most powerful human experiences that we could have on this planet. I think that this is why we are here, to learn how to feel good within ourselves. Not by faking it, not by forcing it, not by doing it for other people, but genuinely feeling good from the inside out. So this is like a super spontaneous video. If you guys have anything like you want to share, you want to ask, you want to talk about, then drop them in the comments down below so that we can have a conversation around this, right? And of course, if you are vibing with this video, then don't forget to give me a massive like, give me some love, and make sure to subscribe to this channel so you can always come back to see more videos like this in the future. I would love to see you around a lot more. So with that said, let's dive in. I always used to judge people for being happy in the past because I would think that they were fake. We are just like thinking about this right now, feels so silly. I used to think that they were fake, they were not like authentic, they were just acting happy, they wanted to be popular. I never believed that people could be truly happy, and so I kind of saw them with like colored lenses because I was not truly happy with myself. And so it was hard to believe that someone could actually be that content, that peaceful, that happy, you know, carrying so much joy. That was really hard for me to believe. You know, when I think about it, I think a lot of it was due to the fact that I was blaming a lot. I was blaming situations that I didn't like. I was blaming people. Like whenever some things didn't happen in the way that I wanted them to, I would always put the blame or point the finger towards a situation or someone, or even myself. Like I would always blame myself. So I'd never really be at this place where I felt good about myself. And if I wasn't happy, then, you know, I had a hard time wrapping my head around how could it be possible that people are this happy with their life? Like they've got to be faking it, you know? It can't be real because it's not real in my head. It's not this reality in my head. And so there was a huge part of my mind that was questioning and challenging and judging, and like just I had a hard time trying to understand how people were that happy. I think we all were born to know how to be happy. You know, as babies, we learn to laugh when people, you know, laugh with us. We laugh when we see something funny. We get excited about like the smallest, tiniest things. And so I believe everybody knows like the inherent feeling of happiness that lives within us, but I believe that we lose touch of it because we can't control, you know, who we surround ourselves with, especially when we were young, and we grow up, you know, absorbing the energy in our environment. We grow up with people who probably have learned the stressful ways of living. And so this kind of fear and tension penetrates into our system. And we learn that this is the way to live. And it has worked for us, for as long as we have lived. And so we get used to living with the tension in our system. We get used to the feeling of not being happy, but then we don't really know what to do about it. I think that there are a lot of people who have been taught that in order to manifest what they want, that they must be happy, they must be high vibe, they must do, manifestation work, and they must generally feel good, And if they're not in a good mood and they have an emotional episode, then it's going to mess with their manifestations. It's going to slow down, the things to come their way, and it's going to mess with their vibe, and they're going to end up attracting the things that they don't want. I mean, yeah, I definitely had ways to deal with my negative emotions in the past that I am not very proud of. I used to try to fix my negative feelings right away. So anything that didn't make me feel good, I would just try to accelerate the process of helping myself feel better, do the things that, help me get back into that mind space of feeling good. I'd rush myself to feel better soon. And so a lot of times I just felt really rushed. I felt like I was not giving the space to myself. And yeah, if I don't give the space to myself, then I don't really have the time to process the emotions that were there. I would do anything to feel better. For example, I would exercise, I would listen to upbeat music, I would, try to reconnect with my purpose and my mission as soon as possible. It's I would do all the things to get into a more heightened state. But a lot of the efforts were actually just to avoid feeling bad. So yeah. Oh yeah, right now I no longer fear feeling bad. If I just feel bad, I feel bad. Sometimes I have a hard time getting out of bed. Sometimes I feel super low in energy. Obviously, not on the days where I show up on camera, but I just kind of let it happen because I know that it's important for my nervous system to actually process it. So I just let it go through my system, and 10 out of 10 times, I find that my energy comes right back really quickly if I acknowledge that it's okay to process it. So yeah, I no longer have this fear of feeling bad, and I think that's my secret to feeling good. It actually feels really good and liberating to not have this false expectation that I need to feel good all the time. I feel like it's liberated me in so many ways. It's freed me from these expectations or this standard that I have to hold for myself, because it's impossible to feel good all the time. And right now I get to be completely honest with how I feel, and the things that I've shoved down for a very long time, the things that I have not allowed myself to deal with. It's really helped me to relate to myself in an authentic way. And so I no longer believe that my feelings are an inconvenience. I no longer think that I'm annoying by thinking these thoughts. Right now, I feel like I actually have reached a deeper level of authenticity with myself. And this is a new way of connecting with myself. I get to know myself a lot more. I'm a lot more honest with myself about how I feel. For the feelings that I've shoved down for so long, that I've avoided for so long, that was inconvenient to process, I get to process them now. And so it's relieved a lot of tension in my body, and it's changed my relationship with myself. I no longer feel like I'm an inconvenience. Right now, I trust my feelings a lot more. So when I feel a certain way, I would kind of take it as a sign that there's something that I need to process, or there's something that I just need to sit through. And this maybe is a sign that I need to give some more tender loving care to myself. So I tend to be a bit more gentle on myself on those days. And yeah, because I believe that our bodies are always sending us signals, and our job is to learn how to read those signals. I think the secret to happiness is being authentic to yourself and being true to yourself, living authentically. And I find that like being authentic is actually something that takes a lot of practice. If that's not how you live already, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of reinforcement. It takes a lot of times to experience like what it feels like to be authentic to yourself. But this is definitely something that is worth practicing and implementing and embodying, because the more that we practice being true to ourselves, the more natural the authenticity comes to us, and the happier we will be, because we're not trying to be anyone else but ourselves. So we don't try to compare ourselves with anyone anymore. We don't try to please others. We're just happy being ourselves. And I also believe that learning to trust yourself, to have the capacity to hold really difficult feelings, is really important. Like also trusting that these emotions are going to pass through you, and that you're going to feel much better after processing them and releasing them. Trusting that the process is safe. Trusting that nothing bad is going to happen, and trusting yourself to become the kind of person who can handle it. So one thing we talked about just now, which is like always listening to your body. I think this is really important, because our body is always sending us signals. It's always telling us what it needs to feel better, to process things, right? And so I think that being able to listen to the body's signals and picking up on those signals, and also following through with what our body is telling us, is really important, because then we can finally give our body what it needs. Like if we are exhausted and we're tired, then we need rest. We don't need to push forward even harder. If our muscles are tense, then it means that there are probably some concerns or threats that we feel in our life that we need to address. Do what we actually want to do and allow ourselves to do it. I think that is one of the most underrated things to happiness. And also know that the more that you trust yourself, and the more that you listen to yourself, and the more you're willing to spend time with yourself, I think the happier you will be. I think it boils down to this one last thing, which is actually allowing yourself to be happy. Like actually allowing yourself to have this experience, to feel this feeling in your body, instead of like intellectualizing it, like trying to think so hard on like how to do it. I know a lot of people, they like to follow like formulas or steps or ways or programs to like think about how to be happy. They like to be told what to do, but it's like, happiness is not a formula. It's not like a step-by-step process. It's an experience that you can have within yourself. So just let yourself be happy. Like give yourself that permission, allow yourself to be happy, and then you will have this experience. This is the way that I like to live. This is the reality that I like to believe in. It's made it so easy for me. And even though I'm not feeling like high jolts of energy all the time, but right now it feels like a really subtle, like slow wave of stable energy that I feel, which is like an undercurrent of happiness. And I'm going to tell you, that actually feels really good. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments, and also let me know by liking this video and subscribing to my channel because I'm gonna have a lot more of this type of content coming out. And I would definitely love to see you around here a lot more. So with that said, I love you guys. Take care. And until next time, see you in the next video.